folks, it is Friday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball right here on SportsbookReview.com's Major League Baseball Show. I'm Donnie Seymour. He is Jason Radowitz, along with Kyle Purviance, and we got a huge action-packed card today, a doubleheader, which we won't really care about, but it is playing today. See if we can tack on some winning bets heading into the weekend. So let's get after it today. And also, if you guys are looking right now on the screen, because I'm now looking at my YouTube feed, it says welcome in. Says Angels, Red Sox, Mets, Rays, Braves, Brewers, and then everybody eating McDonald's, everybody eating Chipotle, everybody eating Burger King, Wendy's, wherever you may go. We got value menu plays coming to you live and direct, hot, fresh, and ready.
Boom.
Of course, we're always going to have those bets on the Major League Baseball card. But why don't we get into it and have some fun with today? We'll get these marquee games. We'll spin it around the league. We'll put some best bets out there and see if we can win some money. 7:10 tonight, the LA Angels headed to Boston to play. Actually, being in Boston, obviously. Canning versus Pivetta. 9-17, 9-18. Short favorite here. 134, minus 134 as a favorite for the Boston Red Sox. Total across the boards at 9.5. I got this game circled as a possible wager. I'm digging Boston. I think they can score some runs tonight, Jason. We'll start with you first.
I agree. The Red Sox should win that first five, but you're looking at two lineups. Again, there's just the middle of the lineup is great, and then just the bottom of each of these lineups for the Angels and the Red Sox, they're just so inconsistent no matter who they're playing against. And, it's so difficult to cap both of these teams. They're kind of the same, except the Red Sox have a little bit better pitching. And with that said, the Red Sox, obviously, I think Pivetta is the better pitcher compared to Canning, who's, had a couple good outings since his two poor outings previously before that. But either way, I do think the Red Sox are the play at minus 120 in the first five. But again, these lineups are just inside the middle of the lineup. It's great. Other than that, just forget about it.
Yeah, you got Ohtani, Trout, and Walsh, and then it's automatic out after automatic out after automatic out. Like, what do you do? Turn the TV on here, Jason, every third inning when those guys come up to the plate and see if you could do some damage. It's crazy stuff, Kyle. I'll get to you on this game as well. Me looking from a Boston perspective here, team total minus 115, so 5 runs will get you the victory. It's the same type of feeling that you have for the Angels, that you have for the Red Sox. You got Verdugo, 357 weighted on base average versus righties. Martinez, 458. Bogarts, 408. Endeavors, 390. And then automatic out after automatic out after automatic out. Talk to me on this one.
Exactly. You guys are 100% right. This game is so tough because these literally are mirror images of each other. 3 or 4 guys who can hit, and then a bunch of trash, unless once in a while you want to rely on Hunter Renfroe, which I will never do again for the rest of my life. So this is tough. So for me, I'm just kind of trying to find value on this one because I do think it's pretty 50-50. I do agree. I like Pivetta just a little bit more than Canning here. So I'm seeing Boston minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 115. So if I was going to, for me, from my money personally, this is a complete stay away. But if I'm desperate to bet this game, I'm a Red Sox fan, I'm going to the game, it's the only game I can watch, I'll take a little sprinkle on that first 5 minus 0.5 at plus 115.
Yeah, I think Boston comes to play at a cheap number, minus 122, Pinnacle Offshore. As I said, the FanDuel Sportsbook here in New Jersey, 134. Other outlets across New Jersey, even lower than that. So about a 125 cheap number here. 2 not-so-great pitchers. I just trust the Boston bats at home a little bit more than the Angels. We'll see how it plays out in that one. Let's keep moving. 929, 930. The New York Mets, Jason's hot New York Mets, heading down to play Tampa Bay in a place where if you score 2 runs, you might as well be king of the hill. If you watched last night in that game versus the New York Yankees, the ball just doesn't travel down there. We'll see if the Mets can maybe – hey, how about this one? Probably looking at me a little bit later on that 9 o'clock. Hey, guys, get on that Mets team total over 1 plus 115 in the 6th inning. Maybe we'll head that direction. I'm going to get some takes here from you, Jason. Mets, Tampa Bay, minus 155 to minus 166 as a favorite for Tampa Bay. 6.5. That tells you everything. 6.5 on the board here, Jason.
There's a lot of love for Glasnow, and, it should be. He's been fantastic at striking out batters. But you look at his last 4 outings, he's allowed 3 or more runs in 3 of those last 4 outings. A lot of power from the left side, really. 182 ISO now. You look at the Mets lineup, they do have some power from the left side. Obviously, the Mets lineup hasn't performed how they, how we expected them for the start of the season, but they do have some lefties that do have power in that lineup. They also have a lot of guys that can strike out in that lineup as well. So it's a tough game. Peterson on the mound for the Mets. That's usually not a good sign. But also, you look at that Rays lineup. They haven't been great against lefties in the first place either. So Peterson's able to not walk batters, things might be different for the Mets here. It's a 6.5 for the over-under. I still agree with the under 6.5 here. I don't believe the Mets are going to hit the ball too well, and the Rays offense really not that great in the first place either, and could strike out a ton as well, because Peterson's also striking out 11.08 batters per 9 innings as well. So under 6.5, I think there's value on the Mets plus 135, but you're not going to see many runs in this game in the first place.
Yeah, every time I just look at it, I made the joke yesterday. Every time a player comes up with Tampa Bay, like in the 6th inning on, everybody's 0 for 2 and hitting 190, but yet they're winning baseball games. I can't understand it, but it seems like that takes place. But also getting back to last night, we always like to talk about getting in live. Kyle, I saw you tweeting out, same as me. Cincinnati Reds today looked like a great live wager chance, which you saw yesterday. Shut down, dropped 8 in the 8th inning last night to easily cover their team total, which was probably down to 2.5 at that time. The game last night, and the reason why I bring this up is if you're watching baseball, always have your tablets open. As many options as you possibly can. Reason I bring this up is you saw me tweet out the Yankees team total heading into the top of the 7th inning, getting blown out was 1 minus 111. They get bases loaded in the top of the 9th inning, only scored 1 run with nobody out. Would have been nice. He's got the easy push, but it would have been nice to get a base in cash. But the reason also I bring this up, I tell you guys all the time, the algorithms that the baseball, FanDuel, DraftKings, whoever, sometimes they're off. Case in point last night, 7-0 game, bottom of the 8th inning for the Tampa Bay Rays. First and third base, 1 out. The line for the over-under in the game was 7.5 at plus 104. Think about that. First and third, 7 runs in the game, 1 out, and a guy on third with a Rosarania at the plate. He ends up walking. The next guy comes up, gets a base hit, and I scratch my head. It's not so much that you guys have to be better and try to beat, hey, here comes the situation in the game, I need 2 runs. False lines get put out there. Take advantage of it. They are absolutely free money if you have the time to invest. So, Kyle, let's get your take on A, that, and B, this game down in Tampa Bay tonight.
Yeah, and listen, Reds' first 5 was my only loss last night. They were getting absolutely pounded. And so, my buddy hits me up like, what do we do? This stinks. And I said, dude, I'm going to go out. I'm gonna be Mr. Donnie RightSide. I'm gonna light a cigar. I'm gonna sit there and wait for that total to drop to 1, and then I'm gonna smash it because the Rockies, first of all, had at the time the 3rd worst bullpen in the majors, right? Just a little bit better than the Reds. It's now worse because what did the Reds do the next inning? Boom, they pop in 2 runs. Once they get that first run, you're free rolling, like we like to say. They get the second run, it's easy money. So you're right, the algorithms are off, and as soon as I knew they had no runs through 6 innings. I knew that total was going to go to 1 and it was going to be off, and I was getting it at minus 140. Took the bet, made up for my loss on the Reds. And we say it all the time. If you're not live betting baseball, you're missing out this year. 100%.
Yeah, you absolutely are. Go ahead. Talk about this game tonight down.
Now onto the Rays and the Mets. It's tough, right? Because, listen, Glasnow is obviously the much better pitcher than Peterson is, and the Rays should have more advantages. Then you go over to the Mets side, and they do have the lefties that could give Glasnow trouble, so it does make it a little tough. I'm thinking this could maybe be if Glasnow comes out hot, and I saw the great stat by Herrera in the chat box that Glasnow's 1-2 against the Mets with an ERA of 6.19. He's been really, really good this year, especially in the first 5 innings. So maybe this is a sneaky little nerfy spot. I don't feel comfortable, even though the Mets are the hottest team in baseball along with the White Sox. It's really, really tough to go against Glasnow in those first 5 innings, and it's really hard, no matter who he's facing, to trust Peterson. So maybe a little nerfy spot for the most part, staying away from this. The Mets are the better team. They do have the better lineup. So if you're taking a side, I would lean the Mets.
There you go. All right, let's keep going down the list here. Atlanta and Milwaukee, 903, 904. Atlanta getting stung a little bit by Toronto waking up at the plate. Atlanta's going to start Drew Smyly, the lefty. Hasn't had a great year, but had a decent start last time out versus Hauser. Minus 127 as a favorite for the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. I also have this game circled as a possible shot for Milwaukee's team total 3.5 minus 135 at BetMGM. The issue I have is it's not a pretty lineup to look at. Sometimes you pay more of a price because you say, look, I got 7 legitimate bats in this lineup tonight, and somebody eventually is going to eat. When you look at this lineup for the Brewers, it leaves a lot to be desired, but you try to level that off against the competition that you're going to have, particularly in Smyly. And then also, as we always point out, it's not so much always about the starting pitching. What's coming in afterwards? Because the lights out bullpen for the Braves, where they were signing all those guys over the past couple of years, that's not turning out today. So I'm going to bring this to you, Jason. Smyly, Hauser tonight, slight favorite, 7.5 as a team. 7.5 as a total across the board. Talk to me on this one.
Yeah, like you said, Smyly coming off a solid outing. Something to work with maybe for Smyly there for the Braves. And then you also have Hauser going for Milwaukee, who's obviously had a much better season so far. But you look at these lineups, and I'm not sure if Ronald Acuna will be playing or not, so we still have to see about that. But you look at these lineups, and the Braves, they've hit righties so much better than the Brewers have hit anybody this season. So I think that there's more value with the Braves bats, just seeing Smiley, figure it out in his last game, some momentum moving forward. Looking at these Braves in the first 5, I see them at plus money. I think that's a good look there. Of course, the Braves bullpen, not something you want to play with. But that first 5, I think Smiley could hold it down against the Brewers. They're just a really bad lineup without Yelich there. I took the under 3.5 in the first 5 yesterday with Flaherty going up against them, and he shut them down pretty well. So, it's just an offense that's just really been struggling, and I think Smiley could figure it out, and I like that Braves lineup a little bit more. So if you see the Braves at plus money in the first 5, I think that's the play there.
130 minus 135 at Bet365 New Jersey, minus 135 at PointsBet, and also offshore here as we're talking about at Pinnacle, minus 127, and again 7.5 across the board here, Kyle, on this one here.
It's another tough one, and if I'm just taking a weighted 3-year OPS here, like which lineup has the bigger advantage, it's a slight favorite here to Atlanta. Of course, when you're betting Atlanta, you want Acuna in the lineup, right? You just want that pop, you want that power from either, whether he's facing a righty or a lefty. If he's not in the lineup, it makes them a whole lot worse. This game's really, really tough for me. When I look at it here, look, and you guys know I don't like Smiley. I cannot stand the guy. I don't like how his name's spelled. I don't like how he pitches. I don't like anything about this guy. But, I mean, look at this lineup for the Brewers. Who am I supposed to like here? Colton Wong? Nope. Even though he actually he's a lefty who hits lefties better than righties at the top of the order, so that's a little bit interesting. I mean, I have a little bit of exposure to Garcia here. I suppose there's some home run potential there. Other than that, pretty damn ugly. So I gotta lean Atlanta. I don't love it. I'm looking at plus 110 money line in the first 5 for Atlanta. So that's a way that I would go in this game. Slightly into Atlanta.
All right, so we'll keep it moving on. And now a new segment here brought in because, hey, some people are like, what are your leans out here? What are you betting a little bit of money on? What piques your interest? That is the value menu wager. So when you lay some wood on this game, you know what you can do? If you win, you head to get some value menu action. McDonald's, Taco Bell, Wendy's is out there, Chipotle, Salad Works. I don't care where you're going. Some of these games have some interesting angles on it. Now, the worst part is we can't be like, hey, I'm going to take a live number here and we're going to get some value money menu on this. No. We got to take these pre-game. I actually have 7 games that I picked out for today. But if I'm looking from a perspective of what I think makes sense pre-game today, would be the Chicago Cubs team total 4.5 minus 105. No reason to believe today they can't get to 5 runs. And you know who's on the mound for the Detroit Tigers today. I mean, is it an auto? Before I even throw it out, is this guy just, when he pitches, you have to automatically take the opposite side, Jason?
Well, I mean, when there's a lot of righties in the lineup, of course. Yeah, when there's righties in the lineup and the Cubs have plenty of righties, and even their lefties like Rizzo could hit lefties, and he's a solid bat no matter who he's facing. And Hayward, he has a lot of experience against lefties and righties, and just a veteran as well. So look at that lineup. It's just a bunch of righties in the lineup and a couple veteran lefties. You'd expect the Cubs to smash Screwball. It's the lefty-righty matchups, and he's really bad versus righties.
Kyle, just a quick answer here. Fade on this guy every time he pitches. Like, you see his name, you're just like, how do I get the other side?
Exactly, 100% fade. And it sucks it's the Cubs, right? Because we don't bet the Cubs on this show. We know better, but yeah, you got to fade Screwball. He might be the worst pitcher in the majors. All
right, second value play for me on this card today. And you know me, I'm a hater. I hate my teams more than any of your teams out there. And it's the Philadelphia Phillies. I actually like them today with a team total 4.5 minus 115. The lineup has 3 auto outs tonight. Marchand is going to be the young catcher that's going to fill in for JT Realmuto, who they told us he had a knee injury, but it's actually COVID. So I don't even know what to believe anymore. Doesn't look like Knapp is going to get the start. So Marchand's going to be in the 7 hole. He stinks. Maton is in the 8 hole. He really stinks. And so does Kingery. He's in the 9 hole. He can't get out of his own way. To put it how bad he is, 11 at-bats versus lefties. He struck out 64% of the time. He's not a pitcher. He's an actual player that got a 5-year, $50 million contract a few years ago from the Phillies and can't even swing the bat correctly. Here for another day. But listen to me on this one. Small ballpark down there in Dunedin, tiny, wind blowing out to right field, 79 degrees, the best absolute weather game on the card today. And even if you don't like the Phillies, look what they're doing versus left-handed pitching here in 2021. McCutchen, who I can't stand, 422 weighted on base average. Shigura, 334. Harper, 368. Hoskins, 441. Bohm, 353. Odubel Herrera, 327. Then the table falls out. But you have legitimate batters there with a wind blowing out in an American League ballpark where there are no pitchers batting. I like the Phillies' value here at 4.5 as a team total. Imagine that. Go ahead, Jason. What do you got? Value bets today for you.
Yeah. Can we talk about Petco Park? The unders in these games, when you look at like April and May, before it gets hot there, under in Petco Park, you have the Cardinals versus Padres, Oviedo and Musgrove. Oviedo is the guy that allows a solid amount of home runs. I don't know if there's going to be many home runs in this game. If he's able to limit the home runs, there's not going to be many runs in these games. I think it's been like 8-1 to the under in Petco Park in from going into like April and May, middle of the season, like 22 games in or whatever. It's been hard to score runs in Petco Park. So if you like an under, I think under 7. I know it's a low number, but I mean you have a guy that already pitched a no-hitter, and another guy that if he limits the home runs, I mean he already limits walks. You can get under 7 in this game. I like it there. That's a good little under look there.
Ryan John says, does Donnie get more excited for MLB or NFL? Am I ever not excited?
I was going to say.
Catch me during live games where my bet's not going so well. Then I'm always angry. Yeah. But outside that, when the hell am I ever mad at anybody or doing anything? Kyle, talk about some firing for fast food.
Yeah, I was going to say he's more excited for baseball in March and more excited for football in November. I think that's about how that works, right? So some value money plays here. Now with the pitching change, it looked like it was going to be Anderson for the Pirates, but now it's Ujiri. So I kind of put a sprinkle on that Giants first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 140. I think Gausman should be able to shut them down. I'm also going to jump on this Cubs train. I know we don't bet the Cubs on this show, so that's why it's just the cholesterol menu, just that value menu, just like a junior bacon cheeseburger or something. I like the Cubs minus 0.5 in the first 5, plus 115. I mean, they should be able to come out in that first inning and light Skubal up. And I think this is a nice little spot here for home run props. I do like a little sprinkle on Alex Bregman. That will be my home run prop today. I think he can get it done out there in that Astros and damn it, I can't remember their opponent at the top of my head anymore.
That's good.
But I like
you don't even know who's playing it. I love
Bregman has nice advantages. He has nice splits. I could give you the splits real quickly here, but he's got himself a nice 31% advantage, 976 weighted OPS over the last 3 years versus lefties off of Benjamin for Texas. Ball should be flying out. I like that Bregman home run prop as well.
Yeah, also, Rory Murray points out Matt's 2-5 starting against Philadelphia in the ERA of 6.19. It's a tough environment down there to pitch in that tiny ballpark. We'll see if it plays out because also I think Toronto profiles pretty good against Velasquez, but Velasquez actually has been pretty. I can't even imagine someone has to give me a COVID test right now if I'm out of my mind that Velasquez is actually pitching very well, and it's kind of odd to say that. But that'll wrap up the fast food plays. We'll also rebound on those a little bit later and go over them again. But for myself, Chicago Cubs and the Philadelphia Phillies, value for me both at 4.5 as team totals. But let's get into the best bets on the card tonight. I'm going to start in this one. I got burned a little bit yesterday in San Francisco. Sometimes all you can ask for are shots. 3 runs by the top of the 5th with a guy on third. You had Longoria was up, flew out. 6th inning again, had guys in runners in scoring position, didn't get it done. 8th inning again with Longoria up, grounds into a double play, 1st and 2nd with 1 out. And then in the 9th inning, the only situation that you would ever ask for Giants backer, Buster Posey at the plate with a runner on second base, and he struck out. That lets you know how the Giants let me down. There's one game that I have on my mind tonight, and I got burned a little bit yesterday in that Giants game, as I said, not getting a great lineup. After the show ended, 2 of the best batters in the lineup sitting it out. Said, hey, we still got to fire away. We're involved. So I'm looking at the game tonight with the Minnesota Twins, 3.5 minus 140. That's sitting here at BetMGM. The only thing I don't like about this game, I think they can hit Montas, and I think they set up well. The weather conditions aren't that great in that ball game. So 2 things I'm going to do here. I'm already going to bet the game, but to upgrade it to a play of the day, I want to see what lineup comes out and also what those weather conditions are tonight as we go later tonight. But the Minnesota Twins are right on my radar, locked in. Most people that watch these shows follow Jason, Kyle, and myself on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. If I upgrade this to a play of the day, I'm certainly putting it out well before that game starts. Jason, go ahead. What are we looking at as some best bets and bankers?
So the first one it's Cubs minus 125 in the first 5. That's on the money line via William Hill. We already talked about it. Skubal is not too good. Getting killed by righties, and there's that Arrieta. He did struggle in his last outing, but before that was giving quality outings, and I do expect that against the Tigers offense. They looked better, but also against the Royals, who are playing like the Tigers the last couple of series. So the Cubs minus 125 in the first 5 on the money line. That's official via William Hill. Moving on to the Astros, taking them over 4.5 team total.
Like it.
They burned me yesterday. Got my notes here. 2 of 18 with runners in scoring position. 2 of 18. But they're getting runners on base.
You were so mad too. You were so mad. I couldn't.
I could sit here. I can sit here and rant for the next 10 minutes, but I know Donnie would raise his hand, and I can't do that.
Hold on, let me do it right now. See it? There you go.
There you go. Yeah. I've already gotten it twice in today's show. Twice already I've gotten it.
You know what, you guys out there that are watching, we have the little thing on Skype where you can raise your hand when somebody's supposed to stop talking here. So here's the indicator, and you guys can probably hear it through the chat box. When Kyle starts spinning that little thing going around, checking things online, he gets that hand right away because we are wasting time. But let's not waste any more time. Kyle, go ahead. Best bets and bankers.
Yep. So I like the Nationals first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 125 today. Look, you've got Scherzer out here against Riley Smith. Now, I don't believe in the Nationals lineup all that much, but I certainly believe that Scherzer should mow through this Diamondbacks lineup. So I like them in the first 5 minus 0.5 at minus 125. And look, we've got our boy, Sandy Contra, up, down, left, right, BA select start.
Got it.
It's a righty. It's the Dodgers. I know he's been solid, but I still, when I see a Dodgers team total against a right-handed pitcher at 3.5 minus 135, I'm all over it. So I like that Dodgers team total over 3.5, and I like the Nationals first 5 minus 0.5.
Odds lightning round as we rip it around Major League Baseball to find some of those other scoops out here, because there's a couple games that I do really like out here as well. 250 people watching here with us on a Friday. Thank you guys for that. But also, more importantly, 85,900 people have now hit the subscribe button. We are close to 86,000. We are going to try our best to push this each and every day to get 100,000 by football season. Maybe we can do it. That's with the help of you guys. So thanks once again for coming in here, having some fun with us. And we love doing the show, and we will continue to do it. But let's get the rest of the games here on the card today and have some fun with those. I'm going to start with you first here, Jason. Doubleheader today, KC, Chicago White Sox. I'll give you both of these games if you're looking at anything, because I had to catch myself here. There are some bad pitchers in this game that I really wish that we had in full 9-inning games on these two here.
Yeah, I'm over the Royals. Not sure.
See ya.
You look at these matchups. Not sure the Royals can get a game here. They might surprise us. We'll see. But, I would look at the White Sox in both of these games. Like Kyle said, the White Sox, they're a little bit hot right now. And, even though we'll stop there. Look, the White Sox are the team. The Royals are playing horrible. And until they show me that they can win a game, don't put money on them.
There you go. Don't put money on that bad baseball organization. 9-15, 9-16. Actually going to skip a game since we talked a little bit about the Giants and the Pittsburgh Pirates already. Kluber and Creamer here. I'm going to give you this one, Kyle, to take a look at. And the reason I asked that is I don't even know who's in the lineup tonight for the Yankees. We already know that they're hit a little bit with the COVID bug, but I saw like a tweet come out that had like 4 guys expected rest today. So maybe it's Judge and maybe it's Stanton and who the hell knows who else. But this Yankee team does struggle at the plate, which are one of my favorite. The two New York teams are my favorite teams to bet late in the game. Pop them with a 1 through 5 innings, and they'll come through for you late in the game. What are you looking at this game? Because you see a Yankees game in Baltimore at an 8.5 number. Kluber's not what he wants, and Creamer stinks.
Yeah, this one's so tough. I kind of like the over in this game. Now, again, if Stanton and Judge and everyone else are out, then you just stay away and you do what Donnie said and wait till late in the game. But look, both these pitchers, not very good. I suppose you're looking, if those guys are going to be out for the Yankees, this could be an interesting underdog spot here. There could be some value on Baltimore, getting them plus 155 on the money line in the first 5. Maybe an under 4.5 in that first 5 as well at plus 100, because again, if the Yankees are going to be limited and maybe Kluber only gives up a couple runs, who's going to hit for the Yankees? So it's something to keep an eye on those picks. But right now I think I do a slight lean and get some underdog action here on Baltimore in the first 5 at plus 155.
Jason, flipping this over to the Cubs and the Detroit Tigers for you today. Arrieta, who got blown up in his last start, said he had a cut on his finger. He should be fine. But his xFIP on the season is 5.35. Obviously not good. He hasn't been a good pitcher for a long time. Taking a look at that lineup for Detroit, though, it's so hard for me, unless you're just a contrarian guy that says, these guys are pros, they get a paycheck. They can't suck all the time. How do you bet Detroit today with Skubal on the mound and then compounded with a disastrous 1 through 9?
Yeah, look, there's moments to take the Tigers. if Urena's pitching, if Boyd's pitching, they've been good. You take a chance like with those pitchers, but never take a chance with Screwball, who's already 0-5 in 5 starts this season.
Yeah.
So, like it's right in front of you. 0-5 in 5 starts this season. I mean, that's all you need to know. So, yeah, again, Cubs -125 first 5. It's official for me. Arrieta should be fine, has been fine. Outside of that one start, I think he'll get back on track, especially against this Tigers offense that really hasn't been good outside the Royal Series, which anybody could against the Royals right now.
All right, gusts up to 20 miles an hour down in Tampa tonight. I should say Dunedin, just north of Tampa, between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. Velasquez and Matz, 162 favorite for Matz. Toronto looks like a really good lineup, but I'm telling you right now, the Philadelphia Phillies, even with these injuries versus lefties, the lineup they're supposed to put in tonight's got 6 legitimate bats versus lefties, and Matz has been known to struggle here, Kyle.
Yeah, I actually am with you, and I like the Phillies a little bit. Gene Segura, by the way, who you don't see this very often with him because he's not a very good hitter. I know he used to be maybe years ago. 9-17 lifetime off of Matz, 3 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. So even though I'm not the biggest Matz fan, of course you all know how I feel about Vinny Velasquez. He's been a little bit better lately. I think I'm going to go the slight lean here and go towards the Phillies in this one.
And how about 919, 920? Because we all like to talk about like totals and sides and stuff like that. 250 for Greinke is ridiculous. I don't care if Benjamin, the lefty, is on the mound and he's not going to pitch that long. Houston should be able to hit. No way I'm laying 250 with Greinke. Maybe 5-6 years ago with Greinke, but not tonight. Seems like an exorbitant number, but also expected to have that roof open, which if you shut the game off in the 3rd inning, like, print this cash, which I don't know how the hell that game slowed down. But what are we looking at tonight quickly, Jason? Benjamin versus Greinke.
Yeah, the Astros, they should get back on creating some traffic on the base pass, should get on, and think they'll do better than 2 of 18 with runners in scoring position. So I like the Astros over 4.5 on the team total at -140 via BetMGM. It's official for me. We're going to get that money back from the disaster that happened last night.
All right, let's take a look at this next game up. Oakland and Minnesota here, Kyle. I like the way the lineup looks here for the Minnesota Twins. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive bats out of 9. But the problem is, or I should say the issue is for Oakland, I'm not a huge Frankie Montes guy. Not one of those guys that I think is going to go 7 innings, 1 earned run. The rain and the wind blowing a little bit in might cause some issues in this game, which is why I want to wait a little bit later. If we might get a clean slate weather-wise and a decent lineup from the Twins, I'm going in on that 3.5 -140. No doubt in my mind they can get 4 runs off Montes. What are you looking at in the game here tonight?
Yeah, and I sort of agree. And look, the A's have certainly turned their season around and one of the better teams in baseball. But when I look at this one, this sort of feels like an under in the first 5. And I know it's weird to hear me say under twice in one show, but I'm looking under 4.5 at +100. You talked about the weather situation, the wind blowing in. The Twins lineup, I do think profiles a little bit better off Montas than the A's do against Shoemaker. I'll take that. I'll take a sprinkle on that under 4.5 at +100. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Miley Marquez on the mound. Keep in mind, Marquez is a very good pitcher in Colorado, has had some success once again this season, 10.5. So when you're looking and you say, wait a second, Cincinnati team total 4.5 -135. Where do I sign up? Well, if you did that last night, it looked like it was going to be a bad option. But obviously, as you got later in the innings, and you're going against Chichi Gonzalez, who looked like an ace out there, like he was, battling Lee Trevino and, whipping out the golf club and putting it away. But he was great. Now you look at a better pitcher tonight. Perfect scenario. Once you see 5th or 6th inning, a runner or 2 on, maybe the pitch count getting higher for Marquez, that's the time to dime in when it's like a 2.5 number. What are you looking at tonight here in this game, Kyle?
Yeah.
Or is this Jason's turn? Is this
Whose turn? Either one. Yeah.
Jason.
Go for it, Jason.
Yeah, so Miley coming off of a no-hitter, of course. So, he should, he's been looking good all year.
So weird. Is he the worst pitcher to ever get a no-hitter?
Not this year. He's playing a lot better this year. He's pitching a lot better. There have been, I guess, worse, like Dallas Braden, I think.
Yeah. That's a good one.
We could go through
Get off my mound.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But, yeah, look, Miley's looked good this year. So, it was, obviously it's hard to get a no-hitter, but he's looked good this year, so far. Should be fine against the Rockies, even in Coors Field. I'm looking at the Reds. They are underdogs in the first 5 innings, also underdogs in the full game the last time I saw it at around +100. I like the Reds offense, obviously, like Donnie pointed out, but that 8-run inning in the 8th inning, I think that gives them momentum going to this game early. I think they score some runs early for Miley. They got an offense that has looked really good, especially against righties, and they can do a ton of damage. You have Winker, Castellanos, Moustakis, Nagin, Suarez, Barnhart. They all have high-weighted OBAs, big ISO guys. Even like Farmer and Senzel have low strikeouts and high walks. So there's a lot going there for that offense for the Reds. And I think that they have the momentum to be good early in this game. So I'm going to go with the Reds plus 102 in the first 5. That's going to be an official play for me.
Here's an interesting one. I'm going to give this one to you, Kyle. I know you already talked about it, but I want to go over a couple points in this game. Washington and Arizona. Roof once again open out there. Smith on the mound, 5.87 xFIP number. His numbers to lefties are very good. He's a right-handed pitcher, 279 as a weighted on base average, and only a 114 ISO. So he's kept them under wraps, but doesn't strike out a lot of guys. Only 10. That'll get you killed in Major League Baseball this year, striking only 10% of the batters you face and walking 8% of them. The lineup doesn't look all that good theoretically. Turner, Harrison, Soto, good numbers weighted on base average versus righties. The rest of the lineup doesn't look that good, but the names are good. So when I say that is, you're going up against a really poor pitcher. The number here at FanDuel is a 5, so maybe you can get a 4.5 juice around that 150 number if you're looking that way. Mm-hmm. Washington should hit tonight against this kid.
Yeah, they should. And you mentioned it. So Smith is better against lefties than he is against righties. So the lefties going against is Juan Soto. I would say Juan Soto versus Riley Smith, advantage Soto. I don't give a damn what Smith is doing against left-handed pitching, advantage Soto. And then you take the other big bats in this lineup, Harrison, a righty, Turner, a righty, Starlin Castro has been hitting the ball well, a righty, Josh Bell will hit from the right-hand side and actually hits righties better than, or, he'll hit from the left-hand side and hits righties better than he does lefties. So, I like Washington here. I like him in the first 5. I think Scherzer shuts him down. It's a .588 weighted 3-year OPS. And when you combine Scherzer versus his lineup, I think he should shut them down in the first 5, and the Nats should get a run or two across here. So I'm going Washington first 5, minus .5 at minus 125.
Alcantara, Kershaw, Miami, LAD for you here, Jason. Minus 222 to minus 225 across the board tonight. 6.5 as a total. Talk to me quickly on this.
Yeah, I like Kershaw. I like the Dodgers in this game. I do think that, the Marlins really, their offense has not been great against lefties outside of those 2 guys at the top of the order. So I think you'll see a lot of success from Kershaw. I do think the Dodgers find a way to score 4 runs in this game. So look at the Dodgers over 3.5 at minus 135. I think that it's one of Kyle's plays. So I agree with that, and do think the Dodgers will be able to score 4 runs against the righty and against the bullpen when the time comes.
Quickly out to San Diego, Musgrove on the mound tonight going up against Oviedo. Oviedo, not a great pitcher, but his numbers are decent this year. The problem is, let me read some of these guys to you tonight that are going to be in the San Diego lineup. Marcano, Kim, O'Grady, and Caratini.
Yikes. Yeah, this one's a little bit tough here. This is another one that sort of has an under feeling to it. I do like Musgrove quite a bit. I think he can get the job done tonight. And again, that Padres lineup looks really, really bad. So I'm trying to find the number here. I'm moving slowly as I find it. Here we go. So, God, it's under 3.5 in the first 5. That makes it awfully tough. This could be a sneaky little nerfy spot. It's not really a buy-in on Oviedo. It's more of a selling on what the Padres are offering up tonight. And of course, I think Musgrove. Yeah, and then we got a 6.5. So it's tough to take the under there. So I probably won't recommend that. Maybe this might be my no runs first inning spot right here, San Diego, St. Louis.
There you go. And getting back to the last game on the card here, Jason, 925, 926, Cleveland and Seattle. Savali versus Flexen. Total 7.5 across the board. Slight favorite to Cleveland coming into this one as well.
You know what you're going to get from Savali. He's a quality pitcher. He's not a big strikeout guy. He gets a lot of balls in play that are outs. You know what you're going to get out of him. Flexen, he's struggled a little bit as of late. So I think I like the Indians here over 3.5. Indians minus 125 in the first 5. I think I agree with the Indians here. But, of course, the lineup for the Mariners just got a little bit better. Does that, mean anything yet? Probably not. So Indians in this one.
All right, let's wrap it up. Clear the bases before we get out of here on a Friday. Another action-packed week here on the channels. Doesn't end either because we got some NFL talk coming up in about an hour, so make sure you join both myself and Kyle Purviance there. But let's go over and see exactly what we had once again today. I'll start it off first here. A little value menu wagers for me. I got 2 of them, which hopefully I'll have at least 2 of those each and every day. Chicago Cubs team total over 4.5, minus 105, and also the Phillies team total minus 4.5. I'm seeing right now you can get them at minus 110. Wind's blowing out. I'll take a chance on that each and every time. Best bet and banker on the show, I'm looking at the Minnesota Twins team total. But again, as I said, give me a little bit more time here to wait out to see if that weather, because no sense, let's get a best bet. And by the way, it's rained out. That's ridiculous. Let me see what the roster comes out, see what the weather condition is going to be. If it's good, we're going to take that 3.5 here and fire away. Go ahead here, Jason. Wrap it up with us for your team totals. A best bet and banker, and also those McDonald's money wagers.
Yeah. I'm on the Cubs -125 in the first 5. That's on the money line. I'm on the Astros over 4.5 on the team total at -140. And I'm also taking a little plus money chance on the Reds in the first 5 with Wade Miley on the mound against Herman Marquez. So those are my 3 plays. Really, I don't really put much money on any other bets. I just kind of go with my big plays.
Yes, you do. But, he does. That means he does.
If you want another play that I think should hit, and I do like, I'm obviously not putting any money on it, but I do think the under 7 in this Cardinals-Padres game is a really good look there.
There you go. Go ahead, Kyle. Get us some value menu wagers and then fire away with the best bet. Hit it.
All right. So for the value menu, I'm going to take those Cubs in the first 5, -0.5 at +115. Let's sprinkle that in. I'm also going to throw a home run prop in there. I like Alex Bregman to hit a home run tonight in that Texas-Houston game. So I'll take that for some value money. My best bet, I like Washington -0.5 in the first 5 at -125, and I'll take that Dodgers team total over 3.5 at -135.
Suns out, guns out. That'll wrap it up for Friday here with the crew on SportsbookReview.com, talking a little bit of Major League Baseball on a Friday afternoon. Love the weekends here, firing it away. Hopefully, this could be a Friday is payday once again for us. Thanks for joining us. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are SportsbookReview.com, and this was your Major League Baseball show for Friday. Good luck on those wagers.